If you don't know what the beginner's guide is, the beginner's guide is, I guess, for the creators of the Stanley Parable. Now, the Stanley Parable is it's like a video game about video games. It's like a video essay. It's like very YouTubey in that way, and the beginner's guide is kind of supposed to be very similar, but they both surprise the fuck out of you. So I wanted to try this one out at the very least. So I think that would be cool to do it for the first time. So today we're playing the beginner's guide.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
I had to for the subtitles.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with
Coda
some personal
sounds
stuff.
someone I recognize.
And his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics.
It's
of
with the
building a
subtitles right at the
3D
top. I
environment.
guess it's for streamer friendly.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Cool.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Scared me.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
November 2008. Let's see. Oh, okay. What the fuck? Okay. Whisper machine. Ah!
Whisper machine active. Shift to structure image.
Okay.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Oh my god. The noise scared me. That sounds like the Kingdom Hearts, like, low health. Why do I feel so scared? What the fuck?
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For
Yeah.
instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I
Okay.
think that we should talk about his games for what they are,
Wait.
rather than for what they're not.
Oh, because I came in through this way.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, that's funny. I come here, I go there. Okay. I'm freaked out, guys, for some reason. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Okay. Oh, all right. Thank you.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Oof. This is a complicated question.
Let me pause here for a second.
Okay.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. So if I do it... Okay. See, I am freaked out by
The
this.
beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. Oh shit, we're in the back rooms. Oh, wrong. Nope, I can't move. Oh,
Yep.
wait.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
What the fuck? The past was behind her. This is what I'm talking about. I'm fucking scared, man. But the future could not be
So
seen.
it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Right. Okay. Can I... What the Okay, go this way. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. So I guess I have to make my way, but the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
Okay, that's cool.
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
This is all in November? That's crazy. Nah, I gotta keep one headphone off. This is just scary, bro. This shit is scary. I'm scared. You are not entering Silent Bill? I don't know. Yes, Caesar.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. Oh, we're in December now. Okay.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Stop fucking with the mic, Caesar.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Let's see. Alright. Stand on an X. Staring at a barefoot. Okay. Oh, is this like ideas he has? A key in one game on to the game. Walk around talking to people.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Lavish manuals come with the game giving incorrect instructions how to play.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Beat an enemy's emails. To learn how to beat them, press U to surrender. Okay. That's fascinating. That is interesting. What's the matter, buddy? You wanna sit down? You wanna sit down and stream with me? Okay. You gotta stop fucking with the mic.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay. What part about this is a puzzle? I just opened this door. And I can't jump up here. Am I supposed to be able to walk? There's nothing here. Oh, I get it.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
That's interesting. Okay. I realized on the spot that it was like two different. That the speed is enough for you to walk through. You just have to commit to being lost.
So that seems to be it, right?
Oh fuck!
You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end.
Caesar.
Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh, what the fuck? What in the fuck?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
To just play? Maybe? That's interesting. Oh no. Not this shit again. You're not exiting, okay.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. I wonder how this character even thought about this. Okay, so we're clearly descending down a hill.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Skibbity toilet.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Got it. That does
The
make
tools
sense.
available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Okay, yeah, but there's nowhere to go now. That's the bathroom. Oh, it's a staircase. Okay. Oh, what the fuck? This is weird. Wait, no, I fell. Oh, okay. Oh, let me guess. You can't really die. And this is just to create inertia mentally. Interesting. Yeah, you can just fall. Fall. Oh, it's like a glass panel here. Forcing you to walk around. Oh. This is for a game that has no element. This is like supposed to be very like telling you how games are made, or you know, that's what he's trying to get across. I'm fucking alright. I'm fucking scared. It reminds me of Gone Home. Gone Home used to scare the shit out of me. Oh, okay, sorry.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, please, because what the fuck? Oh, alright.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere.
Of course you did.
There wasn't.
You were also like his biggest fanboy, so I'd expect you to even try. Oh, it's 3 dots again. Oh,
It's the
here's-
puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I think, to me, it makes sense. You're like committing yourself to possibly being stuck, and once you do, there's an actual solution. So you're just worried about being wrong. Okay, it's a console, isn't it? You there? Can you come up from up above?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Number 2. You've been there. Did you have to go through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. It's the last thing I did with going. Now I get perfect. Now tell us how you solved it. Use the solution how to get to the other side. didn't solve this one. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Those aren't real options. Oh no, but we do. We need to get there. Well, we have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there's nothing I want more. Interesting. Oh, we're back at the guys again. Hello. How did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had passed through? Yes. Do you know how to solve it? Do you want to know how to solve it? No. We actually find the black space between the doors far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Actually, I do now remember it mentioned. Okay. A space between the doors. That was the other puzzle. But not this, I guess. The black space.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Feels weird that I'm being guided. Still. Oh, okay.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
Kind of like BioShock.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Am I moving on? It feels like we're moving on. April of 09. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Alright. Let's not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda.
Yeah.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Got it.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
That makes sense. You start to like understand people through the art that they make, but it's still an interpretation. Okay, but I can't jump. All right, never mind. I was trusting the note, and then there's no reason to. This is a note. Listen to the other notes. Yeah. So fascinating. Devil Tower Storm. These are like tarot cards. I guess we just have to find the end of it.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes
In
sense.
each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Got it.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here.
Interesting.
To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
May and June, Long Island. Porn stars die too.
Okay,
Whoa.
this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. It might be literally spinning its own wheels. Am I going through circles?
See, like, this is it. The whole game.
Okay.
And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Oh, alright. Prison. Alright. One French article to the center of the room. How about a TV with surround sound? Along the wall. I see 10 stoves. Never mind. He's not giving me a choice. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Right, that's true. It was just weird to be weird.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. Schedule enable you to escape prison environment. First, click on this table. Photo frame and click to turn this table. Off the left side sofa. The real prison escape will now open. Return to start to be taken back to your prison. Okay. Ah, return. That was weird. I want, well, like, what is the purpose of this?
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. There's the lamppost, the environment, the table, or is it a telephone booth? Telephone booth. Hello, who's this? Hey, it's me. You after you escape from the prison. Are you me? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the furniture maze.
It's a conversation.
Oh.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Caesar, I would like you to... Okay, if you can lay there and be good, then you can stay. If you're gonna fuck with the mouse and shit, then you can't stay. You understand? Yeah. So I know I'm supposed to be reading this stuff on the side, but the cat distracted me. Well, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then how can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? Just talk to me for a bit. What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, it'll make sense. Okay, I can talk. Let's talk for a bit. Will you be here? I'll be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's true.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
What is he learning
To
how
me,
to, like,
this
write
environment is
conversations?
meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
All right. Okay. my goodness, I'm glad that's like as you showed up. Though I might be having to clean this house by myself. Very miserable with it. Everyone knows but lonesome hands. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
It's the bedroom, make the bed. Alright, see, so you knocked my fucking mouse. Little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel like a calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess that's all that matters. Oh, and a tidy couch. Would you straighten out the pillows on that sofa, man? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled drink over by the couch. Mop that up. Okay. I feel compared to sharing a curvy, cheesy personal insight. Are you okay with that? Yes. Make it especially cheesy. No. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How do you scrub it down as best you can? That's be perfect. We're all just human. A book scattered on the floor in the bedroom. It's okay, put it back on the shelf. Perfect. Now how about you come and clear those dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Did these shorts ever end? Darling, let me tell you, whatever work you do, you absolutely gotta own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present, you want to smooth out the rug, believe it or not. Trust me on this.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
It's okay, but it's just here for you. There's a bit of truth to that, no? Let me switch the camera here. Like a little off. Or yeah, I mean I should say it's blocking like a lot of dialogue. But we're just repeating the same tasks over and over.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again,
Okay,
you
cool.
can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
You just have to keep progressing.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Damn, we're still in 09?
This one gets a bit goofy.
Okay. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think that about that in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person that make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And this question is not how we do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so
About
easy.
halfway through the game,
So
the
easy.
perspective shifts.
Oh, what the fuck? No effort.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
What the fuck? Oh, I meant to press 3. So make like a dark hole.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
How?
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way,
What
and
the-
completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
So he just
I think about
ignores.
this game a lot these days.
So this guy just ignores the fucking craziness. Okay.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little
Relax,
strange
Caesar.
at the time.
Okay, this does remind me of the Stanley Parable. You're going like behind stage. Okay, this is the front of stage. Cool. Oh, you Jesus Christ in my ass. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We're gathering of professionals. First, you start leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. I want to cross the room, and this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Okay. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all my hopes and dreams. What? Did I press the wrong button? No, that's what I said to her. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need to get a better feel of the setting. There's a lot of people. I'll give you some props to work with. Those codes that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Okay, I'll talk to her again. Okay. You must work really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up again. It'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you realize how important this was for me? I'll never get an opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I get it. Okay. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. Prison shit again. This motherfucker in his prison. Okay. guess there's no point. I have to just go into the end. Yes.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very helpful when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Jesus. Well, be sure to play this game. You must keep your eyes closed. Clicked. Yeah, I'm not keeping my eyes closed. You're crazy. What the fuck? Captain, what can we do? Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. Someone get help. What are you trying to do? In my vision, I'm blind. I'm gonna crash. I'm blind. What the? Oh, the door. What the? They're gonna crash. Oh, they crashed into the door. What the hell is going on?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Yeah, but how the what? No way to stop and speak something that's honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, yes, that's it, the truth. Okay, I see. It's draining me.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
Keep going.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing.
Got it.
Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Yeah,
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Jesus Christ. December. Oh my God. This guy really just spends all this time. Hello? What the fuck? How did I get out of here? Alright. So if you hear the cat meowing, it's just because like he wants me to go to the living room instead. What's wrong? You look lost. When I create, I feel empty. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? Let's go with this. There's a machine that kept me going, but it stopped. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where that is. It isn't far. I need to see it. I need to know why. You have to take the tool.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
To find a connection, right?
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way.
Bless you.
You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay, so collaboration. You have to talk to someone. Oh. Ah, that feels comfortable. Keep saying that the creation is easy. Okay. It's easy. It never stops being easy. Okay. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Damn, it's pretty sad.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Sorry, if you see me ducking down, it's because I'm petting the cat, so he stops meowing. He made the machine. Alright, you can't use this wire, Susie. Guard. Ma'am, see that you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like to. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press. We might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Okay, so he is his own machine. We get to see the machine. When we been telling the machine, can you tell us how to capture the machine? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Okay.
And of course, it's the machine.
Stop feeding us. It was only because you're gracious that I made food every day. It's been so long. Apologize for leaving me. I've seen the thing you feed. Alright, then I'll bother some people on your behalf. Okay. My friends, it falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show us that we are not failures. Follow me and we will destroy everything the machine has created. Oh, there's a stage again. Okay. Oh, okay. I got a gun again. Oh, wow. Okay. They mean it literally. Literally destroy. You are known forever. You're scared of exposed.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself.
This guy even,
I'm thinking that
where is he
Cody's
releasing these
stuck in his
games,
own
to be
head,
honest?
and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it.
Okay.
Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself?
Now?
Would it bring meaning back into his work?
If this is what's supposed to be the beginner's guide is, like his game and the way having people connect, or to bring himself out of isolation.
So I started showing Coda's work to people.
Okay.
I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
Really?
You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
I don't know. It's kind of scary because you're still feeding the machine. You still feel the need to be constantly creative. Put down your weapon. Okay. Uh-oh.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something.
What the? Oh.
I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
This is getting weird. Like, this guy is it starts to feel like he's a stalker more than anything, or like too much of a dedicated fan.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
This is the last game, June 2011. The Tower.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
It doesn't really feel like any of these are like actual games, though. Even I understand that like that was part of the thing they explained earlier, but like
This room
is just
actually has a maze in it.
psychosis. Oh my god.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable.
It is really
The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Got it. Yeah, he is punishing people for trying to get close to him. Or he's
And
punishing
to be
himself.
fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here.
So stop you.
I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
He does not want you to get close, and you're continuously getting close, and it's bothering him. If he wants, I feel like he's trying to say, like, if you really want to help me, or I really want to feel a connection for someone, they need to go above and beyond, which is too much for anybody to ask that much. Like, or maybe I'm misinterpreting it.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Oh, you've become his issue.
But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Unless you are Coda. I'm trying to figure out where this game. I understand
Was I
the
a failure
narrative.
for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
Yeah,
And
see,
he
that's
wouldn't.
popped up like a couple times.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy.
Oh, you did it for your own selfish
It was that I
reasons.
needed to see myself in someone else.
Right.
I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Caesar, I'm almost... Don't worry, I'm almost done here, buddy. Like... You
Where
can
did I
relax.
screw up?
Dear Davey, thank you for the interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak
I'm
to
the
me.
reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt...
Oh.
It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
You infected my personal space. That
And
is possible.
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Stop adding lampposts to them? Oh, he was adding the lampposts?
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Oh, I see. The narrator you can't rely on. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, and that's my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks that you make peace with this thing you're arresting.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
That's not what I'm talking about. Don't say anything. I was right. He isn't the issue, the creator, Coda.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything.
Dude, you're learning the wrong lessons here.
So a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again?
You're still wrong,
Please.
dude.
I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
This is not what I expected this game to be. What? Just lay down, relax. Ooh, a train. Stop.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate.
This is
I
wild.
wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Maybe. That's true.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Okay. What the fuck? This is why I don't understand. Is this still Coda's game at this point? Caesar, please.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now?
Okay, so
I think I need to go.
this guy clearly is
And
the problem.
I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna...
You gonna
Okay.
go? Okay. Are you throwing back into Counter-Strike? Don't really know what's happening right now. So this guy who's been fascinated with his friend's work actually became too obsessive with his friend's work, and his friend felt uncomfortable, especially because he kept telling people that he was depressed, and like there has to be meaning in the games that he makes, when the meaning is I'm pushing you away because you're trying to look for meaning in my games when I just wanted to make games, and you add stuff and you mod stuff into my game in order to find meaning in my game, and it's very frustrating. I understand that. And the fact that the narrator, Dewey, just keeps doing it and does it still, even until right now. We're playing this game at this current moment, and he is still technically still doing it. He's still invading this guy's like boundary by deciding that it is out of his own selfishness of wanting to connect. Not even connect, but to play this guy's game. What he loves. Because it gives him some form of validation. Coda is pushing him away, and it's like, well, you're gonna be stuck in a really weird loop. And now it looks like we're walking to like one of the earliest puzzles, which is the beam that is supposed to, you know, finish you and stuff. So, which makes sense. This is his limit, and you've pushed it to his limit of like wanting to be close to you. You gotta, when people tell you they don't want to, like, oh, it's going up. When people tell you like you gotta give me space, you gotta leave me alone, or like you're doing too much, you have to give them that space. You have to be able to like do it and listen to them. But if you do it out of your own selfish reasons, like Dewey did, then you're never gonna win, and you're also never gonna find the satisfaction that you need. My satisfaction of trying to play this game quietly without this completely needy cat. See? No. Possible labyrinth.
Turn back.
For R. Who's R?
Turn
We
back
only know
from
Cody
this
and we only know Dewey. Who's R? Hmm? Tell me, Caesar. Who's R?
You said, let me
project would never have been
prove
possible
that
without-
I'm brave.
Oh, maybe this is like the actual
Let me
game's credits.
keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
This is it. This is
And
guess
you're
this is the end of
so
the game. An hour and a half.
tired.
That's it. We beat it.
But I know that you're strong.
What are you fucking staring at, dude? Those are the shadows of my of like the fingers.
Turn back.
Try. You gotta understand. This cat is beyond needy. Look, he stopped meowing because I'm carrying him. I have to like not. I want to say not stream because of him. I have to like literally cater to him. All right, let's switch to just chatting. Look at this motherfucker. Look at him. I'm literally just here in my office, like playing this game and streaming it and talking to the empty space, the empty void that is the internet. And because it's not him, he's like meowing, and he needs me to do this. This motherfucker needs me to carry him like a fucking baby at all times. I'm not even his original owner. Like, I would say original owner. But he's like my girlfriend's cat. I don't understand why he's way more attached to me like this. And I'm sure he's like that with her too, but like, what the fuck? Let me do my shit. But you want to be here. Look, now you're biting me. Stop. Alright. I talk shit, now you bite me. Fucking bitch. Alright, so I'm trying to see. First of all, I want to see the achievements for this game. There's a kill the narrator achievement? Oh, no, wait. Hold on. What are the... Wait, I don't even know. Is that true? There's no achievements here. Linking the game to electric given. Okay. I feel like some of this is just like fucking with him. Some of these are just like great memes. Let's see. Community hub. Who is Coda? We mystery and critiques on social security. Okay, so a lot of this is it seems like it's commentary. I guess this is another video. There's a video out there of like the creator Dewey talking about why this game was made, and it seems like the reason this game was made is based on his own real life experience about something similar. So there's a comment here that says like, so I watched this because I'm probably not gonna watch the lecture right now or on stream because it's like a half hour. It seems like it might be a long. This is a lecture. So someone had written. So I watched Davey Redden's lecture for Games Now. Let me see if I can I bring this up? Okay, I can't bring it up. I can't zoom in though. So I watched Davey Redden's lecture for Games Now. He mentions that the 37 minute mark that he had a good friend named a roommate named Robin who he mistreated and critiqued based on his own insecurities after making the Stanley Parable, and that Robin said something along the lines, "When I'm with you, you make me physically ill," which mirrors almost exactly one of the final messages quoted to Davey in the beginner's guide. I think the story is loosely based on his interaction with his friend. Got it. So it just maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. I think this is a very interest. That was a very interesting game to play. Just to talk. It's like more of a like a Gone Home. Like it's like a story. It's really about like a story more than anything. It lures you in with one premise. Like for Gone Home, it lures you in with the premise of like it being kind of scary, like scary hidden in the game. But in this, the is like, oh, the people who made Stanley Parable, which is like a commentary on video games. This is supposed to be kind of a commentary on video game development, and it just turns out to be more that this guy used to be a really shitty friend to a developer who was making games. Um, and was fucked up and was very toxic to that guy. And it even says the game is narrated by him. Said open to interpretation. Some have seen the game as a general commentary on the nature of the relationship between the developers and the players, while others have taken it to allegory to Brennan's own personal struggles with the success of the Stanley Parable. I get it. I guess they're trying to say, is it really a conversation? It is a conversation between the game developers and the player itself. But at the same time, it just feels too personal more than anything. See, conclusion ambiguous epilogue level that may or may not have been decided by Coda. Providing his email to the... Okay. One common interpretation is that the game is a metaphor for his own success and attempts to move past his struggles, while Coda being a fictional developer created for the game. Because Nakamura points out that for Reddit to publish a game at cost that is claimed to be the work of someone else released without their permission would be actually illegal, thus providing evidence that Coda must be part of the game's fiction. Okay, I guess like Coda code, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, obviously, if this was a true story that this actually happened, then you can't even sell this game in the way that he sold it, because that would be illegal. So it really is like a commentary. But this game came out when? What year was it? 2015. It's like almost 10 years old now. So it's not like I could send. It's not that I can't send an email to my interpretation, but I feel like my interpretation is the same as everybody else. He's looking for an answer that doesn't need him to look for an answer. He chose to like pressure this friend or himself or whatever it may be to be okay. Maybe that's the surface. Let me think about this. Maybe that's the surface level of like what he actually told me. So what is the actual point of this game? I think the actual point of the beginner's guide might be that we as players tend to read too much into a game when it was intended to do something. Like, okay, I think that if you are a fan of video games, and if you're a fan of very narrative-driven video games, and you follow developers to this extent, you might end up this game is commentary on you a little bit. And I feel that way toward while he might have felt this way about himself in the Stanley Parable and his own interaction with this Robin person. A lot of us, including myself, have done something similar to Kojima and our love and obsession of Metal Gear, and then what happened with the Phantom Pain, and then reading into Death Stranding.